found a picture of you.
Tonight, we've all gathered this evening because cancer, this terrible, destructive disease, continues to take far too much from us, far too much from those of the lives we love. It's something we simply cannot ignore. By the end of this year, 1.6 million people are expected to be newly diagnosed with cancer, and 595,690 people will die from the disease. Cancer is the second most common cause of death in the U.S., exceeded only by heart disease, and accounts for nearly 1 in every 4 deaths. It is a worthy opponent, to say the least. It has a formidable nature, a resourceful manner, and a destructive appetite. But it will never have what we have. We have an advantage over cancer because of the generosity of people like every single one of you. You have courage, hope, empathy, determination, and together we can make the greatest impact to save lives. And that's why we are here today. When we raise money through the Relay for Life of Mamaroneck, we help the American Cancer Society touch the lives of so many. Those who are currently battling cancer, those who may face a diagnosis in the future, and those who may avoid a diagnosis altogether. Today we are here to celebrate all those who have battled cancer. Our survivors are in the purple shirts. Remember loved ones lost, and take action to save lives. Over the next 12 hours, our event will recognize the battle waged around the clock by those facing cancer. The light and darkness of the day and night parallel the physical effects, the emotions, and the mental state of a cancer patient while undergoing treatment.
So the American Cancer Society is the nationwide, community-based, voluntary health organization dedicated to eliminating cancer as a major health problem by preventing cancer, saving lives, and diminishing suffering from cancer through research, education, advocacy, and service. So I'm just going to do a little show of hands. Will those of you who have been helped by the American Cancer Society please raise their hands? Raise your hand if you or a family member has received a ride to and from their cancer treatment appointments through the Road to Recovery program. How about if you or someone you know has participated in the Look Good, Feel Better program? Or stayed at a Hope Lodge facility or used our hotel program while receiving treatment away from home? Raise your hand if you or a family member has ever taken the drugs tamoxifen or Gleevec. Raise your hand if you have had a colonoscopy. What about a mammogram or a pap test? Raise your hand if you or a family member has ever called the Society's toll-free hotline, 1-800-227-2345, for support, or have gone to our website, cancer.org, to get information. How many of you enjoy smoke-free restaurants and indoor spaces? Well, the American Cancer Society had a hand in helping make all of those efforts possible. Will those of you who have been helped by the American Cancer Society, please raise your hands. You are the American Cancer Society. This progress and the life-saving services we offer every day are thanks to your commitment, passion, and fundraising efforts. So thank you so much for what you do and for helping to make today possible. So now at this time, we'd like to introduce Mayor Rosenblum to say a few words.
First, thank you, Randy, and everyone else involved in this, and all the volunteers, and particularly the young kids at any age, because you are the future, and you are what will actually help go towards curing cancer. There's an old expression that goes out, but for the grace of God go I. And that is, there's no rhyme or reason why someone may or may not contract cancer. I can tell you personally, as most people here probably one way or another has been contacted. My father died in 1964 from colon cancer and stomach cancer. And what's happening here and what you are doing is exactly what happened from 1964 to now. Then they were treating him, they had no idea they were treating him for an ulcer. And they didn't know it until they did a little surgery. And of course it was too late. But now, as some cancers, some environmental, some is hereditary, any male or female for that matter should go out and get a colonoscopy for a test. And you do that, and you go out. And that is a tool that is now available to everyone, and it'll help reduce the incidence of cancer and survival and so on. And that's why you're here. I can only congratulate you. And it's the volunteers that make America great. And you guys are making the attack against cancer great, so I just congratulate you and everything else.
We're here to celebrate, to remember, and to fight back. And as we get ready to do all three of those things, it's a bittersweet reality. And I think of two people who were very important to me, Charlie and Alice. Charlie and Alice have a daughter, and their daughter's name is Robin. Robin is here right now. Good boy, Robin. Charlie was a firefighter, and at age 53, if I have my story correctly, he had some back problems, went to the doctors. They discovered that he was racked with cancer, and within 6 to 8 weeks of his diagnosis, he died at the age of 53, just short of his 54th year. Alice was 64 when she had an early diagnosis of colon cancer. She went through a very difficult year of treatment, I gather radiation and/or chemo. But she survived, and she went on to live a full life to the age of 90. And in the celebration and in the reminisce and in the remembering and the fight back, the story of Charlie and Alice, both husband and wife, both who went through this experience, just like the mayor said, it's touched everybody's life. I see both the horror of cancer and the opportunity of cancer. That the horror takes lives out of our lives of people we love, and the opportunity here is that with early detection and by being more aware of these things, lives can be saved, as Alice's life was. So what the American Cancer Society is doing is really a tremendous effort, bringing all these people together. Randy, at least as she pointed out, more than 500,000 people die in a year. That's almost as many people as died in all of the Civil War. So what you're doing today is fighting to save more and more of those lives so that there are more stories like Alice that you can look forward to. People who have fought cancer, who have fought back, and who've won against this disease.
Everyone, my name is Caitlin Chico. I'm the American Cancer Society staff partner for this relay. And I'm so grateful to have you all here and to have this beautiful weather. We will not be walking all night in the rain. Yay! Normally we wait until our Spirit of Relay ceremony at midnight to say thank you to a lot of very important people. But I hope that you'll join me now in just celebrating some of our sponsors and some of our VIPs that are here today and that have helped us make this event what it is. So forgive my reading, but I don't want to miss anyone. So Westchester Medical Center, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center are two of our top sponsors and two of our partners in the fight against cancer. Please give them a round of applause. Right here locally, we're so fortunate to be supported by so many organizations and businesses like DCH Toyota City, Mamaroneck Veterinary Hospital, St. Thomas Episcopal Church, School of Rock, Push Fitness, who led our warm-ups earlier, Made My Art and Design Experience, Unforgettable Amusements, who donated that awesome bounce house earlier today, Everything's Hair, who has purple hair extensions throughout the month of May and who are also with us here tonight, Stan's Cafe, Decoration Day, 25 North, who is providing our survivor and caregiver reception following opening ceremony, Miller's, who donated 2 bicycles, which are being raffled off later. If you haven't stopped over there to buy tickets yet, please do so. Smokehouse Tailgate Grill, and our Mamaroneck Library. So please give them all a round of applause. Our cancer survivors are an inspiration to each and every single one of us for a hope that cancer can and will be defeated for all of our loved ones. And at this time, I'd like to invite up our inspiring speaker, Michaela, to share her cancer experience with us.
Hi, my name is Micaela Zuniega, and I would like to thank you for inviting me to share my story with you. It is a great honor for me. I would also like to thank my husband and my daughter Cassandra for being here with me today. Now, 1997, when I was still living in my homeland, Peru, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma for the first time. The news shook me to the core, and while the doctor told me that I had 6 months to live, I remember looking at him with resolve and said that he was wrong. And I was going to leave because I still had a lot of things I wanted to do. But nothing could have me prepared me for the next few years when I was diagnosed 3 more times with non-Hodgkin lymphoma. The chemotherapy made me feel weak and I lost my appetite and my hair. We searched the countries for vaccines and alternative treatments to the chemo. In 2001, I was the first person in my country to use a new medicine that my parents supported. It was easy to fall in a state of depression and isolation, but during those times when I did was wear my favorite dress, apply some makeup, and go out with my friends. In the face of adversity, my faith as well as the prayers and support of my family and friends keep me going. Little things make a very big difference in my recovery and lifted my spirits. I walk on the beach with my parents or my friends coming over to my house. In 2004, I married to the love of my life, Victor, who had been my solid support through my remissions. I had to go back to my country for treatments since I did not have insurance here in the U.S. During a time when I was confined to the hospital, I felt sick and tired of the hospital food. My sneaky father would bring me food hidden in his clothes or his keys as a Christmas present.
Cancer survivors are living proof that we are making a difference in the fight against the disease. They have endured days of illness, of medical appointments and tears, yet they are here with us today as we honor their crusade against the disease. As we walk these next 12 hours, let the hope provided by these cancer survivors guide us. Let us celebrate their lives and the lives of so many others that have been saved from cancer. Let us celebrate that we are doing something to provide hope to those facing this disease. And hope is something that can be found in each one of us. And they do say that it takes a village, and together we are a village of hope for all of our cancer survivors, all of those diagnosed, and all of those that hopefully never will be diagnosed. And we thank everybody that is here today, including our fine and friendly village trustee Wade, Senator Latimer, and also Mayor Rosenblum, along with everybody here today.
Our track is illuminated by luminaria. Each one represents a treasured relationship. They represent people, and each has a name and a story to tell. They are our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our brothers, our sons, our daughters, our friends, and our loved ones. As they glow throughout the night, they represent our shared vision that a cancer-free future, our shared vision for a cancer-free future. We all come to the relay event for the same basic reasons. We may have fought cancer ourselves or watched someone who we love battle the disease. We participate in relay events so that we can celebrate cancer survivors. We find a place of common understanding when we come here as survivors and join others who have faced the same disease.
My name is Andrea Glenn Leugman, and I'm humbled to be here tonight, able to speak to you under tonight's sky and with all the luminaria in honor of someone who you know who is perhaps undergoing treatment or has completed treatment successfully. But for many of you here tonight, however, you're here in memory of someone who has succumbed to the scourge that is cancer. Tonight, I pay tribute to the great love of my life, what to me is the brightest star in every night sky, my best friend, father of my 2 daughters, and my husband, Mark Leugman. Mark lost his heroic battle to cancer, a rare bone cancer, on October 10th, 2014 at 10 a.m. That day also happened to be his 49th birthday, my 45th birthday, and my daughter Vivian's 9th birthday. And my younger daughter, Georgia, turned 8 9 days later. I'm here tonight not so much to tell you about the story of my husband's death, but to share with you how his impactful life was compressed into 49 too short years, but how he continued, despite intense pain, to choose life right up until the morphine drip began, the boluses titrated upwards, and he took his last breath of air. Because while I could think of one 4-letter word that I can use to describe the impact that cancer has had on my life, I'd rather think of other 4-letter words that have also impacted me during my journey caring for my husband with cancer. And those words are hope and love and life. Because while I would do anything to give my children their father back, I did learn so much about hope, love, and life, and the true meaning of all of it while watching my husband live while simultaneously dying. Because in cancer world, everything is stripped down to the bare basics. It's the spring sun when sneaking off an oncology unit to an outdoor courtyard to get air with my husband and spend time with close friends. It's eating cups of Haagen-Dazs ice cream taken from the unit's freezer when I'd sleep over every Thursday night during his almost 7-month hospitalization. I don't think I've ever had a date more special than eating full-fat, creamy chocolate Haagen-Dazs while watching CNN's The 60s with my husband. I'd pull my chair bed right up to the rails of his hospital bed and we'd hold hands. It's also seeing your kids curled up in their father's hospital bed watching the United States Open tennis matches with their father explaining the rules of the sport. As Mary Elizabeth Williams, a journalist, wife, mother with stage 4 melanoma, and author of A Series of Catastrophes and Miracles, a true story of love, cancer, said in an interview last year, quote, "I want my kids to have a relationship with the fluidity of life, with the fact that sometimes people get sick and sometimes bad things happen, and to know that within there is also grace and beauty and comfort. Because if you go down into the depths, there's also treasure there. Cancer still sucks, but there is profound connection. It's the privilege of allowing yourself to participate in the full experience of humanity, which includes grief and sickness and death. And if you don't look at these things, you're really not living." And while my husband only lived 49 years, he had an amazing impact on others. He was a wonderful son and brother and relative and friend and husband and father. An incredible psychiatrist who never as much as charged a copay to some of his indigent patients that he met while he was a resident training in East Harlem at a Mount Sinai clinic. And in fact, some of the most incredible tributes I heard about my husband following his death were ones from patients who spoke of how he bettered their spiritual and psychiatric conditions. Mark was a very loyal friend and family member who was present for anyone in their hour of need, but his stars shone most brightly in his role as a father. And what a father he was. He would say constantly that his 40th birthday, the day he first became a father, was bar none the best day of his life. And he was an unbelievable father. He was the father who would play Barbie and, take the children to all the kids' movies that I never wanted to go to, and would go sliding down after a snowfall in Flint Park. Mark initially had an excellent prognosis. There was great hope that once he finished his treatment, that he'd be able to get back to life as he previously knew how it had once been. And we did. The 8 months following his remission were mostly a blissful time. I returned to work, he returned to work, we resumed family vacations, and we were grateful that we had been spared when others we knew didn't have that fortunate blessing. We were moving forward until he relapsed. Mark endured pain and rarely complained during the 7 months between surgery to remove a tumor in his hip and his passing. But there too was beauty and hope and love and life. Because whether it was him ordering an extra hamburger for his lunch tray to feed his best friend Joe coming up from the city to visit him in the hospital, or celebrating my 12th wedding anniversary in rehabilitation with him, eating a homemade cake and drinking wine out of paper cups, or our girls putting on a show at the foot of his hospital bed on the night that the morphine drip began, there were moments of complete connection and abounding love, and the examples are endless. So that's what I'd like to leave you here with tonight, what my experience bearing witness to my husband's illness taught me. You may be here to acknowledge your own or someone you love's journey from illness to wellness, or you may be here while undergoing or watching a dear one undergo treatment, or you may be here like me to honor the memory of someone who died. But there is one thing that always remains true, that you beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and the manner in which you live. I'm not going to lie though. Many days were dark after my husband was diagnosed, and the 31 months, 10 days, and 12 hours since he passed away have been a searing grief unlike anything I've ever gone through. But being his caregiver and by his bedside when his life left his body was a privilege and the most important responsibility I've ever known. And I've learned many lessons from it. That we are all living, even when we're dying. And that the small moments, interchanges between individuals, the small glances and acts of kindnesses do in fact matter. And to always have hope and to choose life and love as much as humanly possible without condition and in abundance. Mark dictated a succinct treatise on life from his hospital bed, which was read at his funeral. So with that, I'd like to leave you tonight with 3 of the 10 points from what is now called the Book of Mark. They are: find meaning in suffering, choose life and be willing to fight for it, and love with all of your heart, wildly and selflessly. I now try to live by these words every day. Thank you.
Let's take a moment to share how much we all have in common. At this time, we would like you, when the time comes where the meaning is for you, to crack your glow stick. When you hear your reason to participate and reflect upon the hard-fought journey that all those who have heard the words "you have cancer" have faced. So please crack your glow stick if you are here for your spouse. For a parent. For a child. For a grandparent. For a grandchild. For an aunt. For an uncle. For a niece. For a nephew. For a cousin. For a friend. For yourself. For hope. We all stand here tonight determined to honor the journey of those we love and remember, those who aren't here to stand next to us and to change the future of cancer.
The American Cancer Society Relay for Life event is held to remember those we have lost to cancer, to support all those who are facing the disease, and to work toward the day that no one has to hear the words, "You have cancer." And when the final book is written on how cancer was eliminated, the American Cancer Society Relay for Life movement will have the last chapter. It will explain how millions of people in thousands of communities in our country and across the globe came together
to eradicate a disease, forming the largest nonprofit fundraising event in the world, the largest in humankind's history. On behalf of millions of Relay participants everywhere, thank you, Mamaroneck, for providing the gift of the Relay movement. Thank you for providing the gift of hope to so many people. So please join us now in a lap of silence around the track in remembrance of our loved ones.
Oh, see, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the